The NBA draft is often described as a gamble, a place where teams swing for upside, hope for development, and pray they did not miss something obvious. But every once in a while, a team does not gamble at all. They simply see what others overlook. And when that happens, it does not feel like luck, it feels like a heist. On Monday night, in a quiet but revealing win over the Portland Trail Blazers, the Boston Celtics may have just shown the rest of the league that they pulled off another one of those steals. And if what we saw from rookie center Amari Williams is real, then Boston might have done it again. This was not a nationally televised game with playoff intensity. It was not a headline matchup featuring superstars trading highlight plays. But sometimes the most important stories in an NBA season happen in moments like this. A young player getting real minutes, a coaching staff trusting a rookie, a front office watching months of evaluation finally translate to the court. Amari Williams did not just play well against Portland. He looked like someone who belonged. And for a second-round rookie on a two-way contract, that matters more than almost anything else. Rookies in the NBA live on a roller coaster. One night they look overwhelmed. The next they flash potential. That swing is even more dramatic for players taken outside the first round. There are fewer guarantees, fewer chances, shorter leashes. Every minute feels like an audition. And heading into this game, Williams was coming off a stretch that perfectly captured that reality. He played overtime minutes in a gritty win over Brooklyn. He started against Chicago, and then, against Portland, he delivered the best performance of his young career. From the moment he checked in midway through the first quarter, Williams played with clarity. There was no hesitation, no rushing, no trying to do too much. He did exactly what the Celtics needed him to do. By the end of the opening 12 minutes, he had 4 points, 2 rebounds, and a block, all while shooting perfectly from the field. But the box score only tells part of the story. The real value showed up in the details that coaches obsess over and fans often miss. The most noticeable difference between this performance and his earlier appearances was how intentional everything felt. His screens were firm, his positioning was precise, his timing improved possession by possession. Just 2 nights earlier in Chicago, Williams struggled with those same fundamentals. He slipped screens too early. He failed to create separation. He rushed his rolls to the rim. Against Portland, all of that changed. He held his ground. He created real advantages, and he made life easier for everyone around him. That improvement did not go unnoticed. After the game, head coach Joe Mazzulla was direct in his praise. He spoke about Williams' ability to deal with Portland's size and physicality. He highlighted how important his screening was against defenders like Donovan Clingan and Robert Williams III. These are not empty compliments. In Mazzulla's system, screening is not optional, it is foundational. Since taking over as head coach, Mazzulla has built an offense that thrives on structure and discipline. While ball movement remains important, this Celtics team creates many of its best opportunities through physical, intelligent screening. It is how shooters get clean looks. It is how guards turn the corner. It is how spacing actually works. If a center cannot screen properly, they simply do not play. That Williams not only played but stayed on the floor for nearly 26 minutes says everything. That number may not jump off the page to casual fans, but for this Celtics roster it is massive. Minutes are earned here. Mistakes are punished quickly. Role players do not get extended runs just because they are young or promising. They get them because they execute. Mazzulla has been consistent all season in holding players to that standard. The fact that Williams logged that much time tells you he was doing things right, and that becomes even more significant when you consider context. Just 2 nights earlier, Williams started against Chicago and played only 10 minutes. The difference was not opportunity, it was performance. Against the Bulls, he did not have it. Against the Blazers, he absolutely did. That is how thin the margin is at this level, and it is why this game stands out so much. Williams finished the night with 9 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 blocks. Solid numbers, efficient numbers. But again, the stats were secondary. The real story was how comfortable he looked within the Celtics system. He did not force shots. He did not chase highlights. He understood his role. Screen hard, protect the rim, rebound, make the right read. That level of basketball intelligence is not guaranteed with young bigs, and when it shows up this early, it raises eyebrows. This is where the conversation shifts from one good game to something bigger. Because the Celtics front office did not stumble into Amari Williams by accident. This is the same organization that has quietly built a reputation for identifying undervalued talent. Players who may not check every traditional box but fit perfectly into what Boston wants to do. Brad Stevens and his staff have consistently targeted intelligence, work ethic, and adaptability. Williams fits that mold. He is still raw. He will still make mistakes. There will be nights where he looks lost. That is unavoidable. He is a rookie, and not just a rookie, but one playing meaningful minutes on a competitive team with championship aspirations. That environment does not allow for extended learning curves. Every possession matters. Every mistake is magnified. What makes this performance so encouraging is not that Williams was perfect. It is that he showed growth. The difference between his start in Chicago and his performance against Portland was clear. He adjusted, he learned, he applied coaching. That is the hardest part for young players. Talent gets you in the door. Growth keeps you there. Mazzulla touched on this idea after the game when he talked about coaching young players hard. He described it as a gift, holding them to a high standard, demanding accountability, creating an environment where improvement is expected, not hoped for. That philosophy only works if players respond. On Monday night, Williams responded, and that brings us back to the idea of another Celtics heist. If Williams can consistently provide this level of impact, even in limited minutes, Boston may have uncovered another rotational piece without spending premium draft capital. That is how contenders stay ahead. Not by making splashy moves every season, but by continuously developing contributors who fit seamlessly into the system. It is too early to crown Williams as anything more than a promising piece. The league is full of players who flashed once and faded quickly. Consistency is everything. But this game mattered. It mattered because it showed that the Celtics coaching staff trusts him. It mattered because it showed that he understands his role. And it mattered because it hinted at a future where he could be part of the next great Celtics team. If you zoom out, this performance also reflects something larger about Boston's organizational identity. The Celtics do not need rookies to be stars. They need them to be reliable, to defend, to think the game, to amplify the strengths of the players around them. Williams did exactly that against Portland. He made the game easier for others. And that is often the fastest way to earn minutes. There will be setbacks. There will be games where he barely plays. That is part of the process. But moments like this are not forgotten. Coaches remember who was ready when called upon. Teammates remember who did the dirty work. And front offices remember which evaluations were right. Monday night was one of those nights. Quiet on the surface, loud in meaning. And if this showing is a sign of what is to come, the rest of the league may eventually realize that Boston once again found value where others were not looking. If you want to keep following the development of this Celtics roster, see how young players carve out roles, and understand how small moments can shape an entire season, make sure you stay connected. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts below. The story is still unfolding, and the most interesting chapters are often the ones no one saw coming.